Ukrainian and Russian forces are continuing combat operations in eastern and southern Ukraine, although rainy weather will likely continue to slow the pace of combat operations until winter conditions are fully restored. Ukrainian forces continue to hold out against a strong group of Russian troops attacking near Avdiivka in Donetsk Oblast, and that Ukrainian forces maintain the initiative in southern Ukraine. Ukrainian military officials anticipate that Russia will launch a new wave of attacks against Avdiivka. Extremely cold weather conditions during the winter will likely prompt the resumption of more active combat operations, and continued rainy weather is unlikely to stop Ukrainian or Russian attacks. The eastern city of Avdiivka has quickly become a major battleground over the past few weeks. This city is about 20 kilometers from Donetsk, which is controlled by Russia. It is seen as a gateway to the city of Donetsk and other areas in the east. Fighters of the 53rd Separate Mechanized Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine destroyed a large armored assault column with a landing party of Russian invaders. The Public Relations Service of the unit and the Joint Press Center of the Defense Forces of the Tavria Direction announced this on their pages on the social network Facebook, publishing the relevant video. The clip was edited from footage taken by kamikaze drones destroying enemies and by controlling unmanned aerial vehicles. In one case, the surviving interventionists hid under a destroyed tank, and there were at least 4 destroyed armored fighting vehicles standing nearby. But a barrage of ammunition flew under the tank and exploded there. Ukraine's long-range precision strikes inflicted heavy casualties among Vladimir Putin's troops, massed in large groups far behind the front lines, as the prolonged deployment of troops on the front lines left commanders facing an acute dilemma of whether to separate forces or organize action to increase their strength. Russian cultural leaders are being urged to visit areas near the front lines to show support for soldiers fighting in Ukraine. President Vladimir Putin sent troops to invade in February 2022. Ukraine has stepped up drone and missile attacks on Russian military installations in eastern Ukraine and around the Crimean Peninsula as it launches a counteroffensive launched in June. Other video footage also shows soldiers of the Achilles company of the 92nd Separate Assault Brigade of the Ukrainian Armed Forces destroying a Grad rocket launcher and a BMP-2 infantry fighting vehicle belonging to Russian invaders near Bakhmut. Achilles commander Yuri Fedorenko told about this on his Telegram channel, publishing a related video, which first shows the BMP-2 hit and then the Grad. The video was edited from footage taken by an FPV kamikaze drone and by controlling an unmanned aerial vehicle. Yuri Fedorenko explained that the FPV drones were provided by volunteers, and it said Chernihiv. This was revenge for the missile attack on Chernigov in August 2023. In turn, the Telegram channel Operative ZSU published a video in which assault drone operators from the 14th Separate Regiment of the ZSU destroy enemy armored vehicles in the occupied town of Olshki on the left bank of the Dnieper. The video was recorded by a control drone, which recorded 2 direct hits on 2 side-by-side armored vehicles with wing barrage munitions, not the FPV drone. Wagner Group mercenaries fighting in Ukraine have received bonuses from Russia after being officially recognized as veterans for the first time. The UK Ministry of Defense said a number of former Wagner fighters had been issued official veterans' identity documents on November 14 and could now receive matching bonuses. This most likely signals the rehabilitation of some Wagner elements by the Russian government, the Defense Ministry said. The Wagner Group has been included in Russia's National Guard since the failed coup attempt in June. His mercenaries were heavily involved in the bloody fighting in Bakhmut, in eastern Ukraine, which they captured for Russia in May 2023. Fighters of the 110th Separate Mechanized Brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, named after Colonel General Mark Bezrukha, destroyed a Russian armored column with invaders in the Avdiivka direction. This was reported by the Telegram channel BUR 110 ONBUR, which published a related video edited from footage taken by an unmanned aerial vehicle, whose operator accurately dropped a grenade towards the enemy. If we understand it correctly, previously 2 destroyed armored fighting vehicles of the invaders were standing on the path of the completely destroyed forest, and the bodies of the invaders were lying around. At the end of the video, an invader walks calmly and for a long time at full height, like a most likely shaken Terminator. However, in the end, something exploded near him too, and he no longer moved. From previous reports, it is known that the 110th Brigade is fighting north of Avdiivka. In an interview a few weeks ago with The Economist, General Valery Zaluzhny admitted that Ukrainian forces had failed to achieve a major breakthrough in Russia's layered defenses. Comparing the current situation with an analysis of World War I combat, Zaluzhny said, "Just like then, the current level of technological development has left us and our enemies in a state of stupor." Ukraine launched a major counter-offensive along front lines in the east and south of the country earlier this summer, but made few gains and retook relatively few settlements. Meanwhile, Ukraine's military said its air defense system had shot down 3 Iranian-designed attack drones launched by Russian forces overnight. They also said Russia had launched 2 guided air missiles, but did not provide details.